In this lesson, we're going to use our knowledge of decision making in Java to create an app that's a little more complex than the one that we did previously. More specifically, whereas the previous system was asking for just a username, this one is going to ask the user to type in a username and then to type in a password and then check if the username and password are correct. Then it will allow access, otherwise it will deny access. So we start off by creating two strings. And we'll call the first one username, and again we will get the username by asking the user to type in the username on the front end using a show input dialog, right? Enter your username, and then we'll simply copy this line and we'll call this one password. And ask the user to type in the password. Right, so enter your username, enter your password. The user will type firstly the username, which will be stored in a variable called username, and then the user will enter the password, which will be stored in that variable password. Now we need to create a system username and a password. And a string variable for system password. Alright, so now whatever the user types will be compared with the user system username and the system password. Now how do we do this sort of thing? How do we use an if statement to check for two conditions? Now this is where we're going to use the logical connective AND, the word AND, which is known as a logical connective. Okay, so we use it like this. We put in our if. Let's put in the open and close brackets of the if, and now the Boolean statement, the statement we're checking for true and false, goes between that. Now we're going to put in the first statement, which is going to be in brackets, username dot equals system username. Alright, that's the first one. Okay, take note of the brackets once again. The open bracket for the if statement, the open bracket for the open bracket for the if statement is there, and actually we're missing a bracket here. So we've got the open bracket for the if statement, the open bracket for the internal statement. Now you'll see why I'm putting this inside brackets shortly, and then the open bracket for the system username. So we've got three open brackets and three closed brackets. Right, so now let's look at that one. Alright, the second bracket, username equals, immediately after that we'll put in this two ampersands. This will be Shift and 7 on your keyboard. Right, so that means AND. If option A is true and option B is true, then and only then will you allow something to happen. Okay, so then we put in a comparison with the passwords. Password dot equals system password. Alright, so let's check our brackets again. We've got the if. Alright, the open parenthesis of the if. When we hover over it, we see that the other one on the right side is also becoming highlighted. Very good, so that one has a partner. Then the parenthesis before username also has a partner, which is being highlighted. Equals is being highlighted, and of course the last two are being highlighted. Perfect. Now let's put in our statements. If true, what do? Let's put in a J option pane, show message dialog. Alright, so username and password are correct, so we grant access. Then we put in the else statement. The else statement will be what happens if this is false. Again, we'll just copy this and paste it in there. Set that as access denied. Perfect. Save this, login system.java. Perfect, you can see the file name is down there. Let's compile this code and hope there's no errors. If there are any errors, we'll fix them up. Perfect, compiled smoothly without errors. Let's run it. Remember, the username and password that's in the system currently is Bond and 007. So there's the username, there's the password. Correct, access granted. Fantastic. Let's try the fail scenario. Let's run that again. Access denied. So this is how you will use multiple statements. You can use 2, 3, 4, any number of statements inside of an if statement. So we're actually checking for two conditions to be true. The first condition must be that the username must equal to the system username and the password must equal the system password.